Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, The College Process. Once again, I'm Ed from Principia Prep, and today we're going to be going over, yes, college is a scam if you let it be. But before we begin, if you are new to the channel and you are looking for additional college content, please hit the subscription button down below. It will notify you when new videos come out, as well as please leave a like and a comment if you do enjoy today's video. It does obviously help the channel, as well as we are still running here the James Russo Memorial Scholarship for seniors in high school going off to college. We still are providing the scholarship fund for you guys out there. If you are looking for scholarship assistance in the process of going off to college, down below in the description is the link for the scholarship program video explaining how our scholarship program here works for the James Russo Memorial Scholarship, as well as also down below in the description is the organization's Venmo, as well as our buy us a coffee if you want to help support the channel, allowing us to make these college videos for you guys out there. And with all that being said, let's jump right into today's video. Yes, college is a scam if you let it be. Now, if you've lived long enough, you already know that almost anything in life, to be honest with you, can become a scam, or put yourself into a scam by your own hands, let's call it. From the point of view of, if you think about it, if you buy a house without any game plan for why you're buying that house, and all you're thinking in the back of your mind is, I'm just going to Airbnb this house and make a whole bunch of money, with no game plan, then you're basically setting yourself up. Or essentially, if you go out there, buy the most expensive car on the lot because you want to have the most expensive car for no apparently good reason other than you want to have that expensive car, then essentially you're scamming yourself, financially speaking, by getting yourself into a monthly payment or utilizing a lot of resources to buy this car that you probably don't need. Or if you're looking at it from the perspective of taking very lavish vacations just from the point of view of that you need to take pictures to put on Instagram or TikTok and Facebook to impress people you don't even know, then technically you're scamming yourself. You're not really taking that vacation to relax or feel better about yourself or see the world. You're doing it for reasons that don't make any sense. Or if you're convincing yourself in your own mind that if you hire enough people or get enough people signed up for your multi-level marketing campaign, that a company that you just joined, thinking to yourself that if I get enough people to sign up, I'm going to become rich. Then once again, you're scamming yourself and you're allowing yourself to get scammed by something many of us already know are scams. Because the reality is college works the same way. You don't have to be scammed if you don't allow yourself to be scammed. From the point of view of you can go out there and get an affordable car that's reliable to help drive you to work or school, etc. You can also buy a property that you know cash flows positively just based on rent, not hoping and wishing somehow things work out with an Airbnb situation. Or you look to live in that home yourself and provide it that becomes your primary property. Same thing as going out and getting a job, whether it be a 9-to-5 or a commission-based job where you can basically go out and work for yourself as much as possible to make as much as you can, rather than relying on trying to recruit grandma to sell her retirement community on your pyramid scam. So when does college become a scam? Well, it's pretty simple. It's when you guys look to utilize or look to go after either completely wasteful majors or low-value majors. And what I mean by completely wasteful majors or low value majors is one thing you should be doing as a student and as a family is if the student knows what they want to study, perfectly fine. We need to then look forward to see if you do go into college based on this specific major, what are your career opportunities? What additional education do you need? Do you need a master's program? Do you need a PhD program degree? These are things you should be considering when you're selecting the majors to go in as. Now, if you're undecided and don't know what you want to study, that's perfectly fine. But you can't go in there with a mindset of, I have no idea what I want to study, so I'm just going to randomly pick something that's on a low-hanging fruit for my educational point of view, very easy to accomplish, but from a career and income perspective, is very low on the totem pole as far as income. So if you're looking at a college, and the college costs, let's say, $100,000 a year, and you're looking at your major, and out of school, your major gives you $30,000 or $40,000 a year in income, these two things do not equal out. So it's got to make sense on an economic point of view when it comes to the major. If the return on investment's not there from the major, whether it's low-hanging fruit or an easy major to get into, or it's one of those things that you just want to study for whatever reasons because it's your passion, but it has no premise whatsoever of making you income in any way, then you need to walk away from it. Then really what you're doing is scamming yourself into believing that you're just going to go into this major and things are just going to work out. Things do not just work out in the world. You have to have somewhat of a game plan. If you go in there with the mindset of, I'll just figure it out when I get there, or I'm just going to go to the most expensive school for whatever reason, and that's going to help me figure it out, that's not a game plan. You're setting yourself up to basically scam yourself into getting into a lot of debt or utilizing a lot of resources when you don't really need to. And speaking on pricing, going into the cost of the colleges, as many of you guys already know, I put up the video right here, it's also in the description down below as a link, explaining that some colleges now already cost $100,000 or more. And the other aspect where I see parents and students kind of falling into turning college into a scam for yourselves is when you guys have in your mindset kind of like the blinders on that you have to go to the most expensive school because in many cases it was the most difficult to get into. That's not the way the real world works. Many companies, many organizations do not just hire from the top 10% of colleges. In many cases, lower valued college, as far as the amount they're charging you for tuition, room, board, etc., are also as valuable in the career path for your student as the most expensive schools. Your goal is not to look at the most difficult school to get into, the most expensive schools to get into. Your goal from the get-go, to make sure this doesn't turn into a scam, let's call it, is to choose colleges that are affordable, with great networking opportunities and a great career path and academic profile to allow your student to start a career without either utilizing all your resources and paying for the college or going into a bunch of debt. If you're doing either one of these two things with no specific game plan of why the college should be where your student's going to because of the return on investment may or may not be there, that's not a good game plan. Once again, you're setting yourself up for college to be, for you guys, a scam. Because if you don't have a game plan of the college cost X, based on my major I can make Y, and then after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm either out of debt or I'm making a significant amount of income to be able to support myself as a student, then you have the right game plan. But if you don't have those things in place and you're just randomly sending students out to whatever school they want to go to, then you're falling into the category of you are essentially making the college into a scam because you're choosing the wrong colleges. And it doesn't stop there, by the way. If your student lives within an hour or so of the college and they're dead set on living on campus for the first year, perfectly fine. A lot of students like to go on campus, get that independence out of the way, figure out what it's like to live with somebody else, live away from mom and dad, which is not a bad thing. The problem becomes when a student has to live on campus because they want to live there for years 2, 3, and 4. They're not there every single day for classes. So if your student were to make a Tuesday, Thursday schedule and only commute in there once, twice, 3 times a week, you're going to save a ton of money most of the time because of the fact that if you consider, if you're paying, let's say, the housing cost of $12,000 or $13,000 or $14,000 or even $15,000 a year, that basically means you and your roommate are both paying that. So you are both paying for basically a studio apartment $30,000 on the high end, or on the low end, $12,000, $24,000 between the two of you for a studio apartment where you literally can touch each other by just reaching over to the other side of the room. This, for me, is another scam. The housing costs of colleges are way over the top. Now, of course, if you live 2, 3, 4, 5 hours away, then it's more difficult. But I do have a lot of families, a lot of students that don't live that far away, and it would be a lot cheaper if you just stayed home with your family than paying for the dorm cost. Then you're utilizing and wasting a bunch of resources. And then for me, you are once again making college a scam. So starting off, how do you make sure that college doesn't become a scam right from the get-go, right from the beginning, whether you're early on in the process or whether you're a year or 2 in college, or whether you're figuring out at this point in time where to apply to? And the answer is very simple. Your college list will dictate everything that happens. So I'm looking at my college list with my major in mind, knowing what the return on investment is typically for my major in the career path. I'm looking at the college and seeing, will they be generous to me or not on whether it be scholarship stuff, whether it be grant money, etc. And the way to do that is very simple. If you utilize all the college's net price calculators, they will show you which colleges will give you scholarship money based on merit, aid, etc., based on your academics. They'll also show you the need-based aid, whether they're giving you grant money from the state, the federal government, or the school itself. With these two components, scholarship money and grants, I can figure out if the college is an affordable option based on the return on investment of my major. If it's way out of whack, then it doesn't make any sense. I've had students say to me, I can't go to community college because it's below me, or I can't go to my safety school because it's just a drop in ranking. The reality is you have to think about this from the right perspective. Does it have your major? If it checks the box off and it's a safety versus target, those are equal. Does it have networking, co-opportunities, internship opportunities? Do they both have the same thing? Then once again, they're equal. Now, when it comes to the change in perspective, you should be looking at the cost, the factor of affordability. If the affordability is so different, then you should be going to the more affordable college, because the value of the sweater in your mind is not reality. From the point of view of, if I'm spending tens of thousands extra per year, hundreds of thousands extra over a 4-year time frame, for a college that I think may provide a little bit more value, you're losing the perspective of why your student's going to college. Your student's going to college to get an education, to provide a career, to start a family, a life, a household, etc. They are not supposed to be going to college to the most difficult school possible to try to maybe get a little bit more in salary, to then be in debt to the student loan companies for their 20s and 30s, in some cases, their 40s. If you go to college with the mindset of, I'm going to a place that has my major with great opportunities for internships, co-ops, working opportunities, networking, etc., and it's a very affordable option, with a great return on investment based on my major, then you have the right game plan. You're veering away from college is becoming a scam that many people fall for the scam, thinking that I gotta go to the harder school. If it costs more, it's better. I can take out loans and think about figuring out how to pay them back later on. My major doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna magically figure it out. Then you're basically setting yourself up for college becoming a scam. You are basically conning yourself into the scam by thinking these things. That's not the way this works. This is the real world. You have to have a game plan. Right college list, right major, 4 years or less, and you're fine. You're not turning college into a scam. Now, if you do need more help or more assistance, on the screen is my contact information. And once again, I do help families out in the process. So if you need assistance, on the screen is my cell phone number. You can either text or call me.